Hello, everybody. It's myself and Jammer. We're back with some Counter-Strike for you for the first time in like over a week, Jammer.
Yeah, we had to take a little break there, but I guess we're both rested and recuperated, right?
Yeah, exactly. I unfortunately had a chest infection, and I think I messaged you with I think I messaged you with a voice message, but I messaged Jakey with one, and he was like, "Holy shit! How can like, are you good? Do you need it? Do you need me to call an ambulance or something?"
Yeah.
Because my chest was like incredibly tight all the way across. My throat was how can I describe it? My throat was like it was like someone was closing my throat, but it wasn't causing me issues with breathing. If that makes sense, it was just felt really, really, really tight. So I couldn't barely speak for like 3 or 4 days last week, which, as you could probably imagine, working in a contact center is probably not the healthiest of things. But yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare week. But nonetheless, we're back this week at least anyway, ready for CS. I think we've had my firm finish already. Ya are on T side. The scoreboard will reset itself in a second to switch. There you go. And we're live. You're the man that does the research in this partnership. I just show up and talk into a microphone. So tell me about Auricity. Is it Acurity? Auricity?
Acurity.
Acurity, okay.
Yeah. So they've got, a fairly star-studded lineup, at least in terms of Open. Their top player so far is Chris, who's a rifler. Their AWP's not doing so hot for them, but Chris and Kraller are kind of the double C duo that we might see come to light here. And then Zimzy is the man calling the shots, but he's going to be at the bottom of the ADR table. And, well, it is going to be the last player, Anderson, who's called under question on this A site. As we get the pistol underway, he gets the first shot, and that's going to be allowing him to fade away. Oh, Broderson, actually. He's going to go for an extra fight, and that's the bomb dropped. That makes things awkward for ER as they have to reposition. All five still up for Acurity, and they're going to sit passively because they have the space to do that. They've got a couple of entries, and Laf has one. Just unable to get the second, but he's been spotted out, and that's both players been spotted out, so it's all on Acurity to initiate this retake, and, well, they're going to double push the kit, but, oh, that's a nice adjustment from Tree. He has to do it all. Two more to find, but they're sticking it. Oh, he goes round, and, well, it's not going to work out for him.
Yeah, it's not going to work out, but it was touch and go there for a minute for Acurity. They did do a lot of damage to those pistols, but you've got Tree and Laugh there kind of picking up the slack and getting a few picks of their own to call back onto it. Bomb plant getting done as well also, under quite a lot of pressure. Not bad from Yard, to be completely honest, in that respect. But I would imagine we'd see them, we see them buy up the Mac 10s. This is something that they've been kind of flaunting with a little bit the last couple of matches that we've watched of them, testing the waters as far as doing a full buy into second round once they've got a bomb plant. So it'd be interesting to see what they can put in place. Tree will buy an AK, of course, having enough money off the back of that plant.
Well, I've just clocked, their IGL isn't actually in the server. It's their sub that's playing, and I wonder if that's going to play into it all, how Acurity are going to play this. It often doesn't lend itself to being dynamic, but Anderson, he's pushed right through T-spawn, and, well, he might only have a PP Bison, but all this info he's gaining is worth its weight in gold, and it's just going to mean that Acurity can reposition to B, but you're not seeing the rotations come through just yet, and there you go, the nades start flying over. It is going to be all onto Chris to hold these players off. The rotations do make it in time, but it's just as Iara initiating, and Azil, he gets the first two with the M4, putting some work in, but we get some trades back, and it just kind of seems like this push is going to peter out into nothingness as Acurity lock down this B site. Zyrex will fall with the bomb, and, well, it's all onto Tree. He has an AK, but low health, and 3 players to find. It's not going to bode well for him so far. They don't quite know he's short yet, and there we go. The jig's up. He's given his position away, but he needs to reposition, and unable to connect the shots on the last man, as I mince my words, but Azil with a 4K.
Yeah, I think Azil will be very happy coming away with that 4K. He even recovers the AK as well to bring it back up. That's a really good round from a CT standpoint. These late flashes as they're starting to push themselves in towards B site, it's a double-edged sword, and if you mistime it in any way, you forced players like Laugh, and I think it was Irex, to push out window completely white and into the waiting arms of an M4, unfortunately. Look at this push again. I mean, it's audacious, isn't it? But at the same time, if it plays off perfect.
Yeah, well, okay, there's a couple of trades, and ER can do something with this. They've got 2, and that's a little bit of econ damage, or a third even, and that's actually, a really good pistol on all said and done. That's going to have economic impact.
Yeah, I think Anders will be a little bit unhappy that the AK fell the other side of him, to be honest with you. He's kind of tucked up in that corner like, why is the AK nowhere near me here? But he gets that 1 deg off, and it's, pays dividends into this round. You can see that full buy coming in. They've got enough money to spread some utility amongst 4 of the players, and Alex has got enough money to buy an AWP. I think that might have been dropped, actually, and he's dropped an AK in return, but we'll see him try to put it to work towards mid at least.
Yeah, that's a bit curious because in the past we've typically seen Tree as the AWPer. But yeah, it could be a spawn-based decision, but there you go. Tree gets us a trade, but he falls in the end, and that's 2 down for ER. So it is going to be up to the AWP of Alex and the rest of his teammates to recoup things. Of course, Nova isn't in the service, so the IGLing is going to have to be shambled together by all 5. And, well, we'll see what they choose to do here as they try and creep out middle. And that's by virtue of that early aggression from Acurity.
Yeah, I think Anders takes over as IGL, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, though, to be completely honest with you. Regardless, anyway, this push looks like it's going to fail. Oh, well, it looked like it was going to fail for a second. Anders and Zyrex do pick up 1 each between them, but Azel is the man to just punish everything at the minute, isn't he?
Yeah, he's having a really hot game on that B site, and that's just because ER have been putting a lot of pressure on him, and he's been up to the task. He's a diamond in the rough, and he's not going to crumble under that pressure.
Yeah, and you mentioned right at the very start, his ADR isn't the healthiest out of all the team. I think in sort of long term, he's played the least amount of rounds in comparison, isn't he? He's relatively fresh into the side, less than 100 rounds played for them.
Yeah.
But he's showing his worth at least anyway, even with that limited exposure.
Yeah, one of those things that you want to see out of a sub is showing up when it counts, because you don't always get that many opportunities. And, well, if he can continue to put work in like this, then he's putting a good case for his name in future games. And, well, it is going to be top mid pressure that is going to be put under Acurity, but we're not going to see the Starman Azeel under pressure just yet. Oh, Tree, his arm's sticking out, but he gets a dink. I don't know how he pops that off, but with that low health, Anders gets pushed by Alex, and it's just not enough to close it out. But Laugh can trade in middle, and, well, it's not a bad spot to be in with the pistols, but I don't know how they're going to recover this.
They need another 2 frags off the back of this Deagle round. If they get 2 more, then I think they'll be happy again. Obviously, we saw that happen into the 3rd round, where they managed to get 3 picks. And you got 2 low players, Crawler and Anders. It's going to be really awkward when Anders v Anders happens. Laugh won't be able to finish that fight off for us before it happens, however, and Anders v Tree is working out well for him as well. Okay, Anders v Anders. Let's have it.
Come on.
Who is the true Anders? Anders from CT side is... Oh, it might actually.
Come on, Anders.
Come on, Anders. Exactly. Either way we go about this, we're in the right. It doesn't matter to us. Oh, go on, Anders. Oh, Anders v Anders. He clutches this, I reckon.
Crawler's walking up. It's just a matter of timing, and he gets pre-fired. Prowler's good for that one. He was low, but not quite low enough to fall at the hand of Anders. And, well, it's good, but not quite good enough in that case, mate.
I think they'll be happy, though, with the amount of picks they've got out of it. That's a lot of money that's going to have to be spent by Acurity.
Yeah.
That's a lot of good money built up from Anders as well. I think that's definitely... It's not a win, obviously. It's not a point on the board, but at the same time, it's a positive round nonetheless, I feel.
Yeah, it's one of those confidence-building rounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit awkward as I think Acurity forget to buy Chris a gun, but he'll take a deagle into this round. But there are 2 AWPs to find, and there we go. Tree closes out the first. A regular AWPer coming into action, and, well, he's already had some impact. There are 1 more AWPer players to find on the CT side, and he'll be residing towards the ticket booth area of the map, so he might come into fruition later. But right now it's mid and B that are coming into question as ER try and take some map control. What will the bait and switch from Crowler and Chris? Double C's are actually doing some work in the B apartments, and they're going to be able to fall away as well. Yeah, they're going to re-up aggression. They know that both these players are low now, and it's just double molly. Okay, Chris gets to escape with his life with Flame at his heels, and, well, Crowler's able to rescue him, but only for a brief respite as the rest of the team fall. And, Broderson, he's swung out, but Yanders doesn't have to swing out too far, and, well, that's a little bit of a sigh of relief as Yara on the cusp of putting a round on the board.
It's been a really well worked round as well from Yara, in fairness to them. They use utility, especially where it was needed. Tree getting that opening pick on mid kind of, gives them multiple options then as to how they're going to kind of progress into the later stages of this round. That push into B as kind of timing on that. The push on to B is as kind of unclean as it looked, and it was messy. I think we'll all agree. Even though it was messy, it was still well executed. Crawler and Chris, as you mentioned, tag team in B apps did delay as much as they possibly could for players to rotate back in, and that's why you see Broderson in a position to try and recover frags from shop, I call it, but everyone's got a different name for it, so we're not going to argue over that. For him to get try and get picks from there, that makes perfect sense. Multiple deagle drop.
Yeah, they're gonna fully invest into their security. This is meant to be a low buy round because we saw in the last round their money was just broken, and they look like they're progressing as if it is a full eco, but these deagles could sting with the backside of a scorpion. They could sting with a scorpion. That's what I'm trying to say. But the jig's up. We can see the M4. It's already rattled off some shots, and Broderson catches the corner of Anders, and the deagle wins that one. That's surprising. Laugh tries to throw a grenade in response, but it's not going to connect, and, well, he's good to adjust for the ladder room player. It is going to be an A split as the players keep pushing up connector, and Laugh, he's good for those as he doesn't crumble under the pressure either. Even a third from Zyrex, but Alex falls in jungle, and that means that 2 rifles are on the board for this CT side. They can definitely hold off this A site push as they split the difference on each of their avenues of attack. There we go, Zyrex cornering him through the edge of the box. Nice spot and a nice spray, and he's absolutely locked on to where Chris was. Forfeits the position though, and he almost goes down. That's really awkward. Both the players unable to close out. There are 2 players to find from ER, but Chris, he knows where one of them is and probably has the game sense enough to know that the second is around the A site. That flash actually should alert him to the fact that he's close to CT, and, well, no kit, no hope. He's just going to sit back in jungle and hope that he gets given a free one.
He will as well. That's so well played from him to lurk back in that and just swing out just at the right time to get that extra pick off the back of it. It's another point on the board for Yar, but it's also, again, I feel like we're going to bounce back and forth in this. It's that motivational moment when you do get that extra pick. It's a nice added bonus into the round that you weren't kind of expecting to recover off the back of it. But 5-2 is the scoreline as we head into round 8, and Yar are fighting back. This is the negative side of that last round when you think about it from Acurity. Kind of investing deeply into that round as much as they have, forced them into the situation where they are on an eco again and they can get pushed very aggressively again from Yar. I mean, look at the utility use. That is the aggression.
The underpass flank, though, I don't think they realise there's a player behind, although it's up to these players on the site to hold off the push, and they're doing an outstanding job. 2 players down, and it's just the USPs that are doing the work right now. Azeo will get cut down as the rotations come through, but there we go. The Thorn in the backside. It's going to activate. It is just Anders now, but that was a lot of damage done by a pretty much naked round, and almost a bit more damage done as Laugh goes to 1 HP. He gets a 4k, but Lucky escapes with his life.
Again, they're going to be super happy with having that 3-man pick from Acurity. They're going to be really happy with it because it awards them that bit of extra cash to build up into this round. And this is, I would argue that it's our first proper gun round V-Gun round in quite some time, even with the lack of utility from Acurity.
Yeah, and it's happening at round 9.5.
Yeah, exactly. This is the sort of round we'd expect, round 4, 5, not round 9, where we're now having both teams kind of really be fully fledged into each other.
Yeah, I think that forced by war of attrition at the start of the game, it, initially benefited Acurity, but right now it seems to be benefiting the T side, although this mid aggression is unrelenting and they're going to take some underpass control, but they also should be able to eventually figure out that the rest of B-Apps is clear, and off the back of that, ER is going to push this A side, and that's because they know that there are players in middle. They have some space to work with. They just need to fish out this one remaining player, and Anders can take out the lurk. Anders on Anders action, but the action is going down on the A site, and it's just Chris left to rotate in from the B site.
Can we talk about Tree and how well he's been playing this season? He's been a man apart, throwing his weight around everywhere on these maps. Even with the win-loss ratio that we've seen coming in from Team Yar, it's not it's not the healthiest, 3 and 9, but at the same time, when you look at the statistics, Tree is way up the top of the leaderboard constantly. He's I think he's sitting at like 81 ADR.
Nigh on 81.
Yeah, he is definitely a player to watch out for the future of Team Yar. One that John will want to keep.
Yeah. Well, you can see a little bit of a fluffed smoke in top middle, but shouldn't consequence them here as Acurity. They decide to fortify this A site, and they're going to go for some ramp control, actually. Oh, the underpass, though. Krala connects with the Deagle, and, well, the trade should be coming in, but they're not aware. Oh, Zyrex can adjust in time. Bit close for comfort there as they lose their B site, or, B area of the map control on the T side. They are going to be put on watch as they're not, sure if any more players were pushed behind that in the underpass area. And Azeel with the USP pushing through T-spawn, he's going to activate. And there you go. You can see these 3 players on the A site. They didn't have much in the round, but they've got really good positions and they've put themselves in a spot where they can steal one away. And just as we say that, ER, they read the game very well, and they're going to rotate over towards that B site. It is completely free, and Anders will even plant 4 tree to be able to fall back into that market area. And there we go. It's all on Acurity now to try and push onto them. They have no armor, no kits, bit of util and 2 rifles, so this is doable, but they're going to have to get their moves on to be able to get to the site in time.
Oh, they're not going to check.
Tree with an outstanding double kill, and there we go. Azeel's warded off. He's scared away from the brashness of Tree slapping his teammates down, and well, that's going to be drawing up the scoreboard.
Yeah, these eco rounds that Acurity heavily invested into, they're definitely taking their toll on them now. It has to be. I mean, yes, they've managed to eco the last 2 rounds out, but this meant that Yara have been able to claw back around just to get themselves in level peg. And again, this is going to be another rifle on rifle round, a full equipment round from both teams. These are the sort of rounds that we'd expect, as we said early on in the first half, not as we get closer and closer to the dying stages of it.
Yeah.
If Yara can continue this momentum though, even into these buy rounds against Acurity, and they can put pressure on those weak points that are being more or less gifted to them by Acurity by being super aggressive with your underside push.
That's great.
Yeah. Keep that pressure up. This is going to go really well for Yara.
Yeah, they just need to keep their wits about them because, that's a really nice timing to find. Tree gets an entry and, well, he's not, using the AWP in this round, but he still has a significant impact and he even tucks himself in the corner. If if y'all just leave Tree in this corner, rotate round to B, they can absolutely cut out these rotations. Although I'm not a big fan of that utility usage because it does give his location away. If Acurity are on the ball, I'm going to sit passive, however, waiting for the reactions from Acurity. When you're in a man disadvantaged situation, the pressure really is on you on the CT side to make up the difference. But it seems like Acurity are content to sit where they are.
They've got Chris in a really good position on B side to kind of get a lot of info early on. And then when you look at Bodison's position as well, he's stacked ready to back him up. That flashbang is going to come in, and this is now the push that we expect from Yara as they try to take control of this B site quickly. Tree is able to connect on a Brodison, and Alex finishes off Chris, and it's now a 1v5. And I'd be really surprised if Hazel actually makes any kind of movements towards this B site. He's going to have to be really, really conscious of the fact that Yara are going to look to hunt if they can take that extra rifle out. Obviously, you and I have got the benefit of seeing what kind of money is stacked up on either side, and Hazel can afford to lose a rifle, but none of his teammates can afford to buy up in the next round.
Yeah, it is very important to keep this AK into the next round, even if it's just, you know, for the benefit of firepower, but he's going to be put under pressure. And, well, taking out the AWP is good, but now it's just a matter of staying alive because the rest of the ER players are hunting you down, mate, and you're going to have a tall task to keep that rifle, although he's got 2, and it doesn't seem like ER are going to recover this AWP, sorry. And he's going to stay alive in the smoke. I don't know how he's managed to do that.
How he's done that?
Houdini.
Yeah, if there's a player that you expect to do it, it'd be him, though. I mean, the way that he's been playing in this first half. Round 12, by the way, 6-5 is the scoreline in favour of Yard. This is the first time that we've seen him on the front foot so far this best of 1.
Yeah.
And they've done everything right, really, to claw back the rounds and take full advantage of what Acurity are gifting them as far as the eco rounds they've been pushing through.
Yeah, it's Tree, the danger man in this map, getting another and spotting out the info, which is probably the more critical part of that. Azil, though, he's stuck in the underpass smoke, and Anders can't quite see over it. You can see it acting as a one-way for the time being, although Anders gets the info and he tags him down. Now it's a timer. Azil knows that he's, got time left on his earth, and, well, it's just a matter of when, not if. He's going to try and get a little bit more for his money, pushing through the underpass, but Laugh can close that one out. And there we go. 3 versus 4 on the cards. It's all up to Acurity to make up the difference again, but they've not been very active in trying to level the playing field so far. I guess they're going to continue with that game plan, and, well, we'll see how it plays out for them.
Yeah, that underpass play, I feel that's like, fool me once, shame on you moment, really, isn't it? It's been used so many times by Acurity in this first half that EsportsWales Yar have kind of gotten used to it happening more or less, and being conscious of that rotation player coming through. And you can see the amount of... There's nerves from a Yar perspective. They're checking every single dead spot that there possibly is. 1-for-1 trade, Zyrex will fall, but you'll manage to get Chris off it for his troubles. Crawler is the last man standing in a 1v3. Or 1v2 potentially with the health pools that are left available. Anderson and Alex do not look healthy, but I would imagine that's going to be Crawler warded offside at least anyway. Keep some of that utility potentially into the next one. Nope, he's actually going to go for it. Oh,
that's a nice flick.
Yeah, that is super nice. You'll be happy with that. Don't go near the flames. Okay, that's fine. I genuinely thought he was going to jump into the molly then for some reason.
For the vibes.
For the vibes, yeah. A timeout called. Now, we know Yar haven't got a clue when they're calling timeouts because we've had this conversation many a time, so I'm assuming this is going to be an Acurity call-up. To maybe kind of break up the momentum that Yar have had. Because, I mean, we talk momentum. I can't remember if ESEA will let me see it. No, it won't. I think we're on, 6-round... win streak so far for Yar?
It's been a 7-round win streak.
They've won all
their 7 rounds in a row. Yeah,
they have. Yeah, I couldn't remember if there was one and then there was a breakup where Acurity got another one off the back. But yeah, no, 7 rounds in a row. Yeah, they're definitely going to want to pause and give Yar a chance to cool off a couple of seconds and see if that maybe resets the momentum.
Yeah, I think halfway through the first half, Stater, big man coach for ER, joined. So I'm sure he'll have some choice words on how to maintain this momentum, but it really is up to the players in the server. And, well, you can see Acurity. They've brought up the Deagles again, but they've made sure to leave an F. Okay, well, I'm going to let the action speak for itself. Broderson gets taken out on Connector, and it's going to be this Palace push. The timing, Zyrex doesn't notice him, and, well, he gets taken out, but Alex can trade out. That's just a good timing and position play. And there you go. You start to see Acurity crumble. There are 3 more players to find, only 2 more Deagles, but there's a missed smoke and, well, a potential window of opportunity as Crawler and his teammate in CT, Azil, try and take advantage. Not going to work out in the timings, though, as Anders. He's having a great time entering around this A area, and, well, he's going to continue to do so. Azil can't close that one out, and it is just Chris on the Deagle. We saw him get some exit frags before. May not be able to do it again.
I'd say just go for it at this point, to be completely honest with you. The money's kind of okay-ish for you for next round. it's not the healthiest and it's not the worst, isn't it? In fairness.
Hmm. Now, in terms of, playing devil's advocate and stuff,
Mm.
like seeing them play, how would you say Acurity can build their way back into this? Because yeah, they've guaranteed, an advantage at the end of the half, and that's not something you often see on the T side of Mirage.
From a non-biased perspective, we don't want them to. But as far as getting themselves back into the momentum of it, I mean, we saw them play quite well in that first half in the very first couple of rounds. They had a lot of fluid motion between themselves. There was a lot of different options being displayed by them and worked into genuinely really good favour. We saw a couple of times where Acurity Anders was able to push through into sight.
Yeah.
He's not able to connect on either of those shots or either of those opportunities to shoot at least.
Mate, this double up setup has not been working for Acurity.
No.
I'm surprised to see them go back to it time and time again, because even if, they do get a couple of entries into the sites, I think, more than half of these rounds, they've been in retake situations, and that's obviously not what you want to be taking into a retake, two AWPs rather. So yeah, it's just kind of beating a dead horse at this point because it's not been working. And well, ER have just been on the money, although Tree gets caught out a little bit, tries to adjust, and he barely escapes with 1 HP. You hate to see it if you're a CT player, but you know what? We're going to support ER in this one, and well, we're happy to see him still on the server. All 3 players from CT are as bated breath, waiting for Anders to close that one out, but there you go. Alex and Anders are going to combine to shut down that retake, and it kind of seems like Acurity don't know what to do at this point. They're giving up way too much map control, and Yara are happy to take it.
Again, it's I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the amount of space they've allowed Yar to gather and build off is just crazy. But this is the total opposite of what we normally see from a Yar game, where teams are allowing Yar to get space and then punishing them for using that space. So it's kind of weird to see, a complete polar opposite of it. I also want to do a quick shout out for Anders from EsportsWales Yar, showing that he's not just CSGO manager. He is able to play as well.
He's a coach.
Yeah, he's a manager, he's a coach, he's a player, he's everything you want him to be. He's doing extremely well in this game.
Well, it is going to be the final round of the half. 9-6 or 10-5 are on the cards, and it's just a matter of who wants it more from these two teams. Alex on the AWP again, and well, there's only going to be a single AWP setup, but there are 2 snipers on the field, and Anders is going to be caught out in Palace. Zyrex needs to win this one, and he does. That's an important opening frag because that cripples this A site, and now it's up to Acurity to recover, anything that they can at this point. They've often not done anything in terms of adjustments on a man disadvantage situation, and well, it's going to be a little bit harder because Tree's just made that man disadvantage 2 people. Alex, he's on the verge of taking out another. He spots him out, and he moves in for the kill, closes that one out, and well, might get taken advantage of from Crawler here. There's 1, there's 2, and he's suddenly made a claim for himself, a 1 versus 2 situation to be in. He's going to try and rotate ahead of time, although he's juggling around with weapons, and well, that's awkward because Laugh is down to 2 HP, and if Crawler just shot 1 more bullet, sneezed in that direction, he would have got him down, and we would have ended up in a 1-on-1, but we're going to end up on the B site, and well, it is just on Crawler to retake this site. Laugh is sitting in E-box. It's not the opportune place to be, but in a 1-and-done area like that, don't have to, necessarily sit in the most opportune positions. Crawler, though, he's rotated all the way around to B apps, and that's going to leave the time very low. He has a kit, but I'm not sure if he's going to have time to initiate this. He will spot out Laugh initially, but there you go. He's made sound. Laugh can adjust. Well, a bit late, but Anders should have this in the bag. The adjustment is there in time, and there you go. 10-5 at the end of the half, ladies and gentlemen. ER in the lead by a fair margin.
Not just a pretty face coming in from Anders there, in fairness to him. 10-5, I mean... I don't think we've
ever seen ER in a stronger position before.
They seem to be playing really happily. I don't know how to. I don't know if that's the best way of putting it, but it does feel like they're playing really happily, chilled out. They're not
Yeah,
really, they're
they're
relaxed.
comfortable, right?
Yeah, exactly, super comfortable, and they're playing against a team that is, arguably in a better standing as far as the Open's concerned. Acurity is like what 5 and 6, I think,
I think
from
4 and 6, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, 4 and 6. I got up on my other monitor. Yeah, they're playing against a side that is a step above in the sense of score lines as far as this Open's concerned, but
Yeah,
it doesn't seem to be really phasing. Yeah, they're just enjoying the game that they've been given, and I don't know what they're putting in the water and what they've changed in the water, but it seems to be working at least. States are coming into coach as well.
Yeah.
I think that may also be having a good impact. I've played with Stato before. He's a really good player. Played Valorant. I think it was Valorant we played together for one of the community nights within EsportsWales, and he's a very switched on player. So it's kind of nice then to see that maybe having a bit more of an impact into it. More of this for next season, because we are down to this game and one other game, which is on the 16th. Their next game after tonight, which would have been actually tonight, thinking on it, at 10 o'clock, is a forfeit from Cloaked Esports. So, we do come down to the final 2 games of the season.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a dire situation to start things off, but it's good to see ER are able to stabilize things, and it really seems like a completely different team than the one that we were watching at the start of the season. So, maybe, looking in towards next season, we can hope to see some stronger results and maybe see a bit more comfortability, because this is the first season that these players have been playing together. We did only see 1 or 2 players return from the season previous. So it's nice to see, some talent, fresh talent has been discovered in the scene, but also that, hopefully it's here to stay.
Yeah, I think Anders is going to be looking, at the end of this season at Yar and thinking, right, we've had a really good build up between the team. We're finishing, potentially 4-9, 5-9, depending on how the next 2 games go, if they do win the both of them. But at the same time, you look at the scoreline differences as they kind of progressed. We started the very first game of the season on the 17th of August, 16-8 loss, 16-0 loss. And then you progress a little bit further into it, and you start seeing these games where it's like 19-17, 16-12, 16-14. The games where they're really, really tight games, they're really, really close, and you can see the fight is there. So Yara have definitely picked up quite a fair bit over the last couple of weeks, and looking forward to seeing what they can produce next season for us.
Yeah, well, they've still got games to play in this season, and it is going to be the 8 side that's under question. There are 3 players here to hold off the attack, but this is good util usage from Acurity. They are going to be held at the ramp for now as players start to connect bullets with heads, and there we go. They seem to have all fallen, not being able to get past Tetris, and it's all on Anders for the side of Acurity, as we see Anders rotating in on the side of ER, but there's just 1 T left, and it's just the time ticking down as the Sharks close in, and Anders versus Anders action. We're going to see ER pick up an 11th.
Yeah, I feel like, we're going to, again, beat a dead horse as we normally do with our conversation about pistols. So important, especially for your 10-5. Picking that first pistol win up to make yourself 10-6. It's super important. Dropping that round, that puts Yara on the front foot again. We've seen them basically dominate for the last 11 rounds, more or less, in a row now. So Acurity really need to pick up something here, maybe a bit more pace. They're not going to be able to. I mean, that's just an absolute bloodbath on A side. The Zyrex managed to pick up 3. Anders will chime in, and Tree will also be there to pick up the last 12-5. Is this all over, Jammer, or...?
I don't know if it's all over just quite yet, but there's nothing quite like the feeling of just holding down that MP9 AD and taking out like 3.5 players. Yeah. That's so satisfying.
Yeah, 100%. I think he'll be kicking off over Anders, picking up one of his frags off him, but at the same time, there is no greater feeling than having that mad spray down, even on an eco.
Well, it is going to be middle aggression here from Acurity, and they've taken the bomb with them, so wherever they decide to go, we will see them entry by the middle avenues, and there you go. Alex falls. Laff is crippled at the B site, but he's not warded off aggressions. He's going to go for this fight, and Ezreal is good for that one. The B site has fallen for the time being, but Acurity, they're not going to push in aggressively. They're just going to bide their time and patiently make their way around the map. There are still 3 middle players, Anders. They're underneath you. The smoke fades, and he spots the first, but there you go. They can trade out fairly efficiently. Zyrex even falls in the A site, and it just kind of feels like no fight has gone in favor of ER in any significant way.
Tree sitting on a 2 KD. 22 for 11.
He's popping off today.
Yeah, again, like it's one of those sort of things where we can look at stats as long as we want to. We can see it, in person in the server how well he's been performing over this season. It's not going to be fortunate, however, to take on Crawler in that fight, but nonetheless, 12-6 is your scoreline. EsportsWales, still do lead the way, and Tree finally comes off that 2 KD. just as we see it. Oh,
a full investment from ER. They don't have a kit, but they've got a fair bit of firepower behind this, and well, they could definitely catch Acurity off guard here. It is throwing all your eggs in one basket, and well, Tree gets spotted out straight away. And the adjustment from ER is just to stack more players in that direction. You are going to see Alex sitting in the underpass area, and well, he might not be spotted so far, but it might just be a matter of time. He is going to be given a bit of space from a missed window smoke from the Acurity side, and he can absolutely get so much damage here. There's the first, and he's even able to upgrade to the M4. The timing, not going to work out for him to take that kill, but he gets another on the adjustment. That's a really heads-up play to even the playing field as Anders chimes in to help out. And well, they know these last 2 players are middle. It's just a matter of whether they're going to be able to, cover their corners and get the timings right. Anders cleverly falls back to CT, and well, Acurity, they're going to start making their way through jungle. It is going to be Laff and Anders to recover things, and they're trying to figure out where these players have gone, but the util will chime through, and that should give the game up. They are going to make their way to the A site.
How intelligent is that from Laff?
I'm surprised that Acurity don't consider that. The young Danes are being caught off guard far too often here. It is just Laff now in a 1 versus 1. Anders from the side of Acurity is going to be planting the bomb, and well, Laff is just crawling towards him in a slow creep. Anders giving his location away, and that's going to be an easy cleanup. ER put up another round off the back of the force, and I've said it before, a second, force up win like that is going to have such a big boost to your confidence and the economy that you're working with. But in this case, it's not going to be, the most ideal situation. It's going to be one of those spots where you win a round, but you might not have as much firepower as the other team do, especially on the CT side.
I feel like it's a learning round as well, though, because you look at the way that last round initially started. Chris was able to pick up 2 frags off mid. He was able to pick up 2 there, but also there was still Acurity players stacked at the top of mid. Again, we're seeing a repeat of that now. We've got 3 players from Acurity pushing mid as is. That kind of gives Yara a bit more room to maneuver on other sites and get other positions ready to kind of receive those initial players coming into B site. Laff is going to be the only man still waiting, though, to receive those players. They kind of half and half push themselves up towards short.
Yeah, they were going for some early apps aggression there, but they didn't expect Ezreal to be so far up, and Tree gets a Dublin connector. Such a big impact play as he triples up on it, and that completely peters out the Acurity push. They are going to be remaining in the B-side area, but it's just, such an outstanding play. That was the real danger area of the map, and to have such impact in a moment like that when, your team's at the back of the wall with the economy and you can't lose too many players in this round. That's such an important play. Can't speak so highly of how that worked out for him. And it's going to, almost lay up the rest of his teammates to close the round out as Crawler tries to do anything he can with the bomb in Biat.
It's an absolute meme of a position from Tree as well when you think like the position he's taken. He's just, that's a suicide spot, essentially. You're either going to take that fight and win it, or you're going to be in a position where you're going to come off with maybe 1 pick. For him to come out with all 3, that's just big plays. Big cojones plays.
Big cojones plays indeed.
Yeah.
And
25 of 14, by the way, as well for Tree, just to throw that out there.
Do we have a Team ER MVP of the season? Because
Not really. I
feel
mean,
like
not yet, at least. Anyway, I think I was going to speak to Slayer John, because they do the Sunday talk show thing, don't they?
yeah,
Whether or not they wanted to have us on as guests, and we can give them an MVP from Tan and from Yar from this season.
that would be quite nice. But
Would be.
they've got 2 more rounds to find to pick up a 4th game win. Well, a 5th, because the next one's a forfeit. So, or does it count already? I don't know. But I do know is this security team is going to be pushing into the B site. Laugh, he's got it all to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite, but Tree can close things out with 2 of his own. And there you go, 15th on the board, map point.
And this is the first big rifle round that we see from Acurity since that second round push. And they don't really have a lot to kind of spend out, in fairness. So they can buy they can buy quite a fair bit of utility. I think the SG purchase is a bit of a... I don't know about that. I don't rate that buy, to be completely honest with you. But
yeah,
unless I'm missing something here, it's a kind of an awkward one, especially when you're trying to recover a round back. You'd want more rifles, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's last chance saloon for them. Crawler gets an entry into A, and the immediate reactions from ER, they send 2 players over in that direction. I'm not sure if they're going to be caught off guard from this underpass push, but you know, it's definitely like a last-ditch effort from Acurity. The young Danes trying to recover anything they can, and well, off the back of that pick, they are going to be repositioning towards the A site. Auto Director enjoying watching Laugh maneuver as we see Anders take out one in middle. That will alert the rest of the Acurity players that there's some aggressions there, but they're going to push in towards A. The trades come through, and well, you can see the attacks petered out as they try and cross towards the site, and finally they get some site control, but the rest of the Yar players aren't going to let them get there easily. Tree even pushing through the smoke for that one, and there we go.
It is done and dusted.
16-6, only 1 round on Acurity's T side, as they are just run away with the map past that 5-round initial streak from Acurity.
Yeah, it's super. That was genuinely one of the nicest games to watch from Yar. I can't say any fairer than that. That was like kind of that for me at least anyway, and I don't know if you'll agree. That was kind of the round that we wanted from them all season.
Yeah,
you know that round, that map that we wanted from them all season, where they just smashed a team, and I mean they destroy and decimate a team, and that was just perfectly it. They are gonna finish off this season though in their next game. That will be on the 16th, which is Thursday, if my dates are right. Yes.
Yeah.
16th, which is Thursday, that will be at 7:30. Me and Jammer will bring you the action from that game. But Jammer, closing thoughts on that one, because that was just an absolute bloodbath on most rounds.
I just want to highlight actually the fact that Yara unbeaten on Mirage. They've only played it twice and they've won both times. So you know, hopefully, coming into next season, we'll see. Oh, the last one was a forfeit actually. So
it doesn't matter. We're still taking that. We're still taking that.
Yeah. Okay. Unbeaten on Mirage, boys. Let's go. But yeah, hopefully they can, get this map through the veto a little bit more, because it seems like the comfortability, maybe playing through and Pugs is just, built that comfortability no matter who they're playing with. But bit more of Mirage, boys, because it seems to be working.
Yep. Big up Anderslar, well done. It was actually a really good game to watch with you, mate, in fairness. And Stato for jumping in as well, also to give him all the advice. Tree is just... I think we definitely need to have a conversation with Tree at some point just to find out what he has for breakfast, and try and get like a run through of everything that he does in his day, just so I can perhaps slightly improve my gameplay. Nonetheless, however, thank you everyone for watching. Me and Chama will be back tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken, with a Tan game. Yeah, it'll be Tan tomorrow night. That will be at 8 PM. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, and we'll see you on the next one.